fun of my stutter. Hey there, beer tubers. Welcome back to Greg, this asshole in the top corner under the duck. And the rest of us too. We are here for Beer Analysis 101 with your host Maxwell Starr and Greg and the Fuzz and the Redbeard.
I'm here.
Does that mean we don't have to do introductions now that we know they're all here?
No, I just want to point out that Greg, myself, and Redbeard are primary colors.
Yes, we are. Look
You're
at
not
us.
wrong. And you know what? I'm grayscale.
That is kind of funny. Yeah.
So this is like Nick is a coloring book, and we're about to go to town.
Yeah, Jesus. All right. Apparently Dan's going to be here to throw off the color scale. So,
no, he has to listen. He has to listen.
All right,
green, and then we'll be the Wiggles.
Yeah, just tell him he has to wear a green shirt,
and we'll be the Wiggles.
Teletubbies.
The Wiggles, like when I was trying to poop in the toilet. All right, gross. Anyway,
what the hell did you come up
with? Viewers that are watching right now, we are going to do stouts, and we're going to enjoy it. First and foremost, let's go to who we have with us, starting, of course, with Greg, who needs no introduction, so we'll move right to Scott. No, I'm kidding. Hey, Greg. Oh, fuck.
I actually should go to Scott because I forgot to actually get my beer, but I am actually enjoying this delicious Oktoberfest from Creemore, which actually pretty good.
It's Scott. What are you enjoying? An Oktoberfest?
I was enjoying Oktoberfest until this beer channel thing started.
Oh, yeah. Well, apparently we're such low standards here that we let people on who aren't ready and have the beer. So I guess we will talk to Scott first. Scott, how you doing tonight?
Good.
Awesome.
Living La Vida Loca. You know, I think I need a beard trim and a real job.
A real job. Why?
Get a haircut and get a real job.
You didn't lose your current job already?
No.
God, don't say that. Not even funny.
Not even funny.
All right.
No, that job's doing quite well, actually.
Nice. Anyway, so what beer you got tonight?
Tonight I'm going to review Tire Shack's Secret Society. Toasted watermelon stout, vanilla flavored beer with lactose. Hey, Dan.
You just said toasted watermelon.
A vanilla flavored beer with lactose. Toasted marshmallow. Sorry.
I don't know how you did that.
Well, I bought a watermelon for my daughter, and we had watermelon for dessert, and I froze a few for popsicles tomorrow. So watermelon's definitely on my brain. But anyway, a toasted marshmallow stout, vanilla flavored beer with lactose. Hi, Dan. And this is out of Moncton, New Brunswick.
Nice.
Yes.
Indeed. All right.
Indeed.
So let's go back to Scott or to Greg.
Hi, Scott.
Wow. Nick's friends are all merging together.
This is Scott. This is Scott after he got the shave and the beard trim he was talking about.
This is Scott after he's been debared.
This is after he's been debared by drowning in Greg's pool.
So, I mean, this. I don't know.
All right, Greg. So
are you saying what a corpse looks like? I'm doing well, Nick. I'm not a corpse, so I'm doing okay. How are you tonight?
You're one organ less than for a corpse.
I mean, I do have one organ less. That just makes me lighter. I can do all sorts of things mildly better than I could before. Wow, that joke just killed everyone. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways,
we're still glad it didn't kill you. So
yeah.
Go on.
I appreciate that. So I in between this Oktoberfest, I did go out to attempt to get a stout, which apparently they were all. I know I told you guys offline, but online they were. I was told that they had 15 of them and they all got stolen. So
stolen.
I couldn't get.
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah.
Stolen.
I guess some dude just walked out with a case of them or whatever. They're 8.8% alcohol, so I guess the dude just walked out with them. He's like, "I'm out, guys. I'm good to get drunk for a day or two." So, anyways, I literally got the only. Well, there's two stouts in the store, and I bought both of them. One of them was Cobblestone Stout, which I don't think anyone wants to watch me review. This one, I don't know if I've had before, but if I had, it's been a long time, so I don't remember it. So I'm gonna have a Dragon Stout, all all the way from Jamaica.
Jamaican me crazy.
That's
I think what
kind of awesome.
wasn't this? I believe this was a favorite of our short-lived Jamaican friend Marvin, who showed up and then disappeared without a trace. And I think he used to like this stuff.
Yeah, wasn't like isn't Dragon Stout made by the same company that makes like Red Stripe, but it's like their stout variety?
I have
forget.
not done an ounce of research on this, so I don't know. But this is 7.5% alcohol, so it's not bad.
Yeah, Dragon Stout is often known as Red Stripe's darker, stronger brother. There you go.
All right,
So
well,
this
there
is
we
like
go.
this is the one that's got steroids and grew up on the streets.
And I was excited that I could get away with just buying one.
All right. Okay, let's certainly not least, let's go over to Redbeard. How you doing, buddy?
I am well. How are you?
I'm glad you're well. I'm doing okay.
Did you get a different mic?
No.
Oh, okay.
Why does that look different though?
It's
Did you turn it around or something?
very, very differently angled. It used to be like here in front of me, and now it's over here. It's
You put
yeah,
it
but-
behind you, kind of thing.
yeah. It's no
It just
longer.
looks
I no
different
longer
from that
smack it. I no longer accidentally smack it all the time. It's pretty nice. But yeah. Anyway,
Right.
Beer. I
Mm.
found. Went to the LCBO and this was just there, so I grabbed a couple cans of it because.
That's what I think it is. Fuck you.
I'm assuming.
All right.
Oh!
I may not be the only one that has a can of this right now, but yeah, 9.5% out of Saint Jerome, Quebec.
I wonder if that's a fresh batch or not.
Nope, can says 11 days short of being 1 year old.
Ah, okay, so it's last year's batch. It might still be pretty decent. Probably the coffee will have kicked off, but
9.5% Imperial Stout. I don't care if the coffee's not really there. I know that this beer is still going to be fucking delicious.
Mm-hmm. All right. So
Nick, introduce your beer, buddy.
I'm going to talk about my beer considering Dan is late because he's got family stuff. I'm going to put this up to a vote because I got two good-looking stouts here that I could do tonight. I got one from Le Naufrageur. I get Stout St. Barnaby Dry Stout, 5.2% ABV. Or I've got another one from Le Malbourg, the Filibuster Oatmeal Stout or Stout L'Avion.
what
So
was the first one again?
The dry
St.
stout.
Barnaby from Naufrageur. Now, the reason why I put Naufrageur here, I was thinking of doing this one, but I think I did a Naufrageur the last time we were live.
I would say do the one that's higher alcohol.
They're both pretty low, but that'd be the oatmeal one.
Filibuster's 5.5, so we're going to go with that one. All right, so I've
Technically
got
a strong
can
beer.
of Le Malbourg's Le Filibuste, the Stout d'Avion from, what's the name of the town this is from?
From Jacques Chrétien, Quebec.
Yeah, something like that. Saint-Anne-de-Mont, which is on the northern coast of the Gaspé Peninsula. So, all right. So there's no comments to read, so I'm just going to keep on rolling. Let's go back over to Greg, who's probably not ready.
No, it's Scott.
No,
We're going back in the original order. Okay.
Oh, it's Scott.
okay.
Greg
Scott.
was here first. He just wasn't ready, so we went.
Sure.
Okay.
But
Okay.
you called Scott.
Actually, just vamp for a second, Scott. I'm trying to look this up. I'm just trying to see if I've had this before. If this is not a first time for me, then it's the first time I remember having it. Well, it's never been untapped, so I've never had it before. Then, so this is my first time having it. I haven't even opened it yet. So, you know what? Here, Nick, I am going to allow you to witness history in the making, so it didn't explode on me. It's probably not as cold as it could be ideally because I only got it from the LCBO like an hour ago. So. All right, here we go. It's in the good old bone shaker glass that most of the skeleton has disappeared over the years.
Nice.
And there's your history.
All right.
Has that thing been through the dishwasher many times? Is that why the?
Oh yeah, this is actually the very first tulip glass I ever bought, and yeah, it's over 10 years old. It's been through the dishwasher probably like 1,000 times, so it's holding up pretty well considering. I should retire it before it breaks.
Supposed to hand wash that shit, man.
Yeah, I'm
So-
not gonna ever do that.
It takes 5 seconds.
No,
Yeah,
it
but
doesn't.
Yes.
Takes 2 seconds to stick in the dishwasher.
Yeah, and then destroy your
Take
glass.
your what?
I have too many glasses. I
Stick it in.
need to break some of them.
Bring some to the Salvation Army or something. I don't know.
They don't want my beer.
I brought
They just
They'd
want
love,
old underwear.
they'd love your beer glasses.
I brought $250 worth of frames, like picture frames, to the Salvation Army just last week.
Well, that was nice of you.
Yeah,
and
that's,
most
that,
and some of it was in art too. Like art was inside of it.
Was your mom putting paintings or pictures? Or
Some of them were my mother's pictures. Yes,
why didn't
so
you
you got
sell
rid of
them?
all your mother's pictures? Is that right?
not all of them. I select few because I used to have a house full, and now I only have an apartment size full. So I had to get rid of them.
Why didn't you sell them? Or try to sell them?
That would be too hard for me.
Okay, fair enough.
So I said I'll donate it to the Salvation Army.
Hey,
They
buddy.
can make money off of it
Yeah.
and feed and house the local population.
Should we, since I know our loyal viewer base is probably follows every aspect of the show, have we explained why we're doing stouts this week and not what we're supposed to be doing?
No, I don't think we did. Greg, you take it away since you're already on screen.
Well, as we know, the lovely Lee Hardy was set to get a year older this weekend. I believe Saturday is her birthday.
Who said she was lovely?
I said she was lovely. Have you ever seen her in a bathing suit? Lovely. Anyways, so we were going to, but then some, let's just say, evil person decided to make her work tonight. And despite the amount of dicks that Lee Russell tried to make him eat, nothing could be done. So unfortunately, Miss Hardy is working on us. So we're hoping next week we can do our Lee Hardy party where we have beers that honor the lovely Lee Hardy. And if Scott doesn't like that, he can move to Russia.
Well, no, actually, I'm too old to be drafted. Yes.
There you go. You're not too old to drink draft beer, so let's go to Scott now.
Hey.
Hey.
I don't have too much. I don't have too much history with this. I've had a few tire shacks in previous weeks. They weren't anything to write home about, but they were all right. So Moncton, New Brunswick. That's all I know. I don't have too much. I like the back picture. Looks like French's.
Mm.
And an oil. Yep.
Yeah, to talk over Scott here and add some history of, not so much history of my home, just some stuff I know about the breweries. That it's I forget what part of town in Moncton. Moncton's not a very huge city anyway, but they are built in like an old former garage. Somewhere, I think it's somewhere off of Mountain Road, which is like the main drag going in towards downtown into Moncton. It's like this long ass main road going into downtown. And then when you get to downtown, you cross the river, you're over. Yep.
Yep. It used to be Mountain Road. It doesn't connect to any mountain.
Yeah. Well, it
funny.
kind of does. It goes out towards that mountain that's up above Magnetic Hill, which is not much of a mountain. But I
Not much of a
imagine if
mountain.
everything's flat around you, then any kind of meaningful hill is a mountain.
And so Mountain
Mountain in a
Road
nutshell.
used to be the main road before the highway was built.
Hmm.
The main road into Moncton, and
Makes
it
sense.
had the first Wendy's in all of New Brunswick.
Ooh.
I remember going there when that was like the only Wendy's around. I think it was in the
The only
80s.
Wendy's in New Brunswick. It's the first one in Mountain Road. Anyway,
Is there now a Quispamsis Wendy's?
there is not.
That's unfortunate.
There is A&W. We lost our KFC. Couple Subways.
Oh, Quizfam
McDonald's.
lost its KFC. Yeah.
Yeah. Couple McDonald's. No Burger King.
Jesus.
Has a
So
Dairy
yeah,
Queen.
You have
So-
a couple. You have a couple McDonald's, but no Wendy's. That's crazy.
That's right.
So here's Moncton. Magnetic Hill is here in the top corner. It used to be an old tourist trap when the
Oh,
highway used to
it's
run
still
up
it's
there.
still a tourist trap.
Oh yeah, that's where the zoo is, and then Magnetic Hill is actually like this shitty little road where if you park along it, your car looks like it's going, or put it in neutral and let your car kind of glide uphill from the looks of it, because it's actually a hill that the surrounding area looks like it should be going uphill or going downhill, but it's not, or uphill, whatever. It's a gimmick. So yeah, and then you follow Mountain Road. The casino's right here by the highway.
The only casino in New Brunswick. No. There's Edmonton as well.
Okay. Well, the big thing with the casino there is that's the one that's got the auditorium and a lot of concerts. It's one of the biggest concert spots in New Brunswick.
Yeah, indoor ones. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that in Moncton Coliseum down here, and Avenir Center, which I think is like close. Nobody cares about that. We're talking about Mountain Road comes through here. There's the roundabout road that goes around number 15, which goes all around Moncton and Dieppe. Come down towards closer to downtown, somewhere off of Mountain Road, but closer to the core of the city, which is literally right here where Pump House Brewery is. We see where Tire Shack is off of John Street, and it literally is this neat little brewery built out of an old
Looks like an old subway.
garage.
No,
That literally
you're
does look more like an old subway. Like we go back in time, like 2019.
that was a garage. Tire Shack.
Literally, it was called Tire Shack.
It was Tire Shack Garage.
Yeah, that's funny.
That's
There's
good.
a
They
tire-
kept the name.
They just changed their name. It's still called the Tire Shack.
It
So what
could've
was
just
it a
kept
long
decided.
time ago?
Funny,
Yeah,
it was
Cooper
the-
Tires.
funny,
Literally
funny if it was the
called
same
Tire Shack.
owners. Funny it was the same owners just decided, yeah, we don't do tires anymore. Let's do beer instead.
Yeah, it'd be funny if they still sold tires out of the back of the brewery.
Maybe they do fucking yearly changeovers or something. That'd be cool.
Anyway, but it reminds me of like I don't know if Greg's probably been there, but Bandit Brewing was a lot like that, where it was built out of an old garage, and
You know what?
if they wanted to open up to the patio, they could literally lift the garage door.
Bellwoods is an old garage as well.
There's a lot of places have that kind of garage door set up, even downtown North Bay. That would be a decent business model. Like if that, like say the very last garage door on the end of the building, if that was actually like a drive-through fucking place where I don't know someone can go in, get their tires changed over or something, and while they're getting their tires changed over, go in and have a beer. You know, and limit anybody getting their tires changed over to only having one beer because you don't want to promote drinking and driving. But I don't know, that probably
Sounds like there's
Complimentary
like
beer while you're waiting.
it sounds neat, but like economy of scale wouldn't work out for it. Like, of course, the brewery is going to be the main focus of the business. It's just a gimmick that you have a tire changeover.
it would be gimmicky. But I don't know, it'd be interesting.
Or instead of having, a drive-through tire change place, why don't you just put an extra couple set of kegs? Or,
Well, one thing about the difference between a tire place and a brewery is that the meaning of the word growler changes. Instead of your tires like making noises, and
I mean, out of everybody here,
I've heard tires growl. I've never heard one called a growler though.
I don't know. I was just
That
thinking-
was-
out of everyone here, I'm the only one who's
obviously didn't work.
tire. I'm the only one who's worked at a tire
It's
place.
okay, Nick. It's okay, Nick. I've tried to be funny too. It's
Oh, you
not
worked
working.
at Coast Tire?
I did work at Coast.
You worked at Coast Tire when?
I worked at Toyota. That wasn't a tire place, but they did a lot of.
Wait,
tire
you worked at
stuff.
Toyota?
I know, shocking.
Was
And
it anywhere near the news?
I kind of worked for a brewery when I worked for Highlander doing their festivals and shit, and Lake of the Woods. So I've
All
kind
right,
of.
so let's get this shit back on the road here. So Scott's given his history on Tire Shack, and then I interrupted and we got off track. I'm sorry,
Okay.
my fault this time.
Let's
So
go to
speaking
Red
of-
Shirt, Red Beard.
Red shirt. So I know you do have a history with this, and don't you lie to me.
I had it 8 years ago on my channel.
Has it really been 8 years since you last had that?
8? Not.
I feel like you've had it more recently.
Not that recently. Like this is one of those kind of holy grail things where like every now and then it just kind of more, I guess, a unicorn. I don't know. Every now and then it just out of nowhere. Oh my God, one of those. Yes, please. And yeah, I bought 2 of them. They were, not super expensive, but more expensive than I was planning to buy. Like more, I was planning to spend. Sorry, but yeah, I had it that one time and then a couple times since, and now I'm having it now.
Bueno. All right, since we're waiting for Dan to show up still, if he is indeed going to show up.
I think when he says he has family
right
issues,
there.
it means he's banging the wife. So it could be depending on how long either he lasts or the furniture lasts.
All right, so let's get down to my history with this beer. Up until 2 months ago, I had no idea who these guys even were. A buddy of mine from my camera club was going on a summer trip to Gaspé Peninsula, Quebec, which coincidentally about 6 years ago, our camera club went up to the Gaspé Peninsula, and I was up there with him, so I knew some of the stuff up there in some of the area. So he was initially headed to Naufrageur and Carleton-sur-Mer. He asked me if I wanted some beers from there. I told him sure. And he ended up giving me like 16 cans of beer from them. And as he's making his trip, he goes up around. He's on the north side, and he spots this other brewery called Le Malbourg, which makes a bunch of interesting beers. And you want some of these too? I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? I ended up at the end of his trip, I ended up having like $100 worth of beer that he gave me at the end of it. So I forget if I posted the review already on my channel of Le Malbourg's Icebox, which was fucking phenomenal. But this is their oatmeal stout. I had 2 cans of this. It's the second can I'm drinking tonight. So I look forward to giving my thoughts on that. So we're waiting for Dan now. We're kind of at the shoot the shit part of the episode anyway. So let's wait for Dan and see if he shows up at all.
And
no
nobody
viewers,
shoot
no
the
comments. So
I'm
if anybody
thinking
is actually watching or pretending to watch and whatever, just post a comment and we'll read it online.
Dan's not coming.
Ow.
Carrie's getting pussy.
No, really, Dan just messaged in the chat. He said he's not coming.
Jesus
Never mind.
Christ.
Wife needed me to have a chat with the younger one. Well, that's a disappointment. Like tonight's been from the beginning. So first we did tell us we don't have Lady Lee. Now we don't have Dan. I don't know how we're supposed to live like this.
You can't be the green wiggle.
Can't be the green wiggle. And the red keeps cutting out too.
Listen, Dan could literally just make her watch this show and say, "You see that Greg fella? Don't be like that. Don't hang out with people like that." And she would learn her lesson.
She probably would. Want a good role model like that Scott fella down there. He's got a job and a haircut.
Exactly. Yeah, Scott's a clean-shaven bear.
There you go. We took him out of the woods and tamed him.
Roar.
Oh, bare ass like that one in the great outdoors.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, the assless bear.
Oh, right. I remember that part now.
I was on Reddit today and somebody posted a pic, like the steak subreddit. I don't know, people post pictures of steaks and stuff, and somebody like this giant steak and the old 96er or whatever, the one from that movie, and then someone linked the fucking scene, so I watched it and fuck, that's a great movie.
Yeah, it's pretty good actually.
I miss John Candy.
Yeah, John Candy was pretty great.
And what did I say? Never got a chance to do something together. That would have been great.
I know I saw one that was like a meme and it was like I had Uncle Buck in it and I can't remember what it was.
Probably several memes with Uncle Buck. Uncle Buck was good shit.
That Uncle Buck I haven't seen in a long time, but I think that would be what I would call possibly my favorite John Candy movie.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
You know what? I have actually not seen that. At least I
Are
don't
you
think
kidding
that.
me?
And if I have, it would have been like eons ago, like back in early '90s, probably when it was on TV.
My problem with the movie, I won't spoil anything for like, a 40-year-old movie for Nick, but it's too much of a snuff film. Like after a while, I'm just like, oh my god, can they like just fucking leave Steve Martin alone after a while? Like he just keeps getting.
I don't know. It's in the way it's done. I just like the both of them. Like Steve Martin does some fantastic shit in that movie too. Like they're both.
I mean, they're both good in
yeah.
the movie, but that movie wears me out every time I watch it. I'm just like, oh my god, can you fucking just give Steve Martin a fucking break? Like, Jesus Christ.
Oh, there's a movie. Speaking of Greg's Jamaican beer, he was in Cool Runnings as well. Like I actually really liked that movie back when I was a kid.
I remember Cool Runnings. It was okay. It wasn't great. Well, and then what was his last movie, Wagons East or whatever?
Wagons East, and it was shit.
Yeah, they didn't even.
There's also Canadian Bacon.
Yeah.
I never saw Canadian Bacon.
I always like him. Like he's one of those actors that actually showed up in like a lot of movies where he wasn't the star, and he was actually like pretty good in a lot of those.
He did a bunch of random cameos. Well, actually, you know what? Honestly, like as far as my favorite stuff he ever did, I wouldn't even go to movies. I'd go back to like fucking some of the SCTV stuff, like that. That show is gold, man. It was fucking so good.
It's amazing for such a small time, like Canadian made TV show, how many stars came out of that show.
No,
that's fucking insane. You had John Candy, you had Eugene Levy, you had
Catherine O'Hara,
Martin Short.
Like fucking Dave Thomas. He isn't around so much anymore. I think he died.
Yeah.
Didn't he?
I don't think Dave Thomas died, did he?
Not the Wendy's guy, but the other guy. I
know. Not the Wendy's.
But
Martin Short.
Well, SCTV
Moranis retired basically from
SCTV. Basically turned into Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, after a while.
Look into it and stuff. That's what basically happened. I think Lorne Michaels was SCTV, and then a lot of the actors went over to Saturday Night Live as well. And
the SCTV kept going for a while, but with like a kind of a shit crew.
Why don't you?
Later seasons.
I'm sure we talked about this, but when Jimmy Kimmel took his break this year during the summer, and the 1 week Martin Short hosted, and Jiminy Glick. He did one episode fully as Jiminy Glick, and it was one of the fucking fun. And the interview he did with
Bill Maher.
No, the other one, but on Kimmel, the one he did with the guy that plays Barry in the show Barry. He's been in a bunch of stuff. I can't think of his name. Bill Hader, I think. It was fucking.
Oh, okay.
Any Jiminy Glick interview is going to be some of the funniest shit you've ever seen, man. Martin Short.
Did you see
he's one of the fastest fucking comedy minds in the world, straight up.
Did you see the one he did with Bill Maher? He had Bill Maher splitting the sides. He couldn't keep a straight face.
Well, he was on. He was like the first guest, whatever, on that one episode of Bill Maher. Which I don't watch Bill Maher like that show so much anymore because Bill Maher's become a bit of a pretentious douchebag in my opinion. But
he always was.
But what he's worn on me a lot more lately or something like that. I'm not a big fan, but I watched the clip of that and it was fucking great. Like it was.
There's like one clip where like Bill Maher just released a book, so he got Jiminy Glick to interview him on his show. So it was need a professional interviewer. All right, speaking of professional interviewers, anybody want to? Since there's only the four of us and we've all talked about our histories, and there's no viewers.
Wow.
Hi, Jamie. When you rewatch this,
if like Lady Lee was here on her party, there'd be like 18 random men wanting to sniff her feet.
We'd have cleavage and be talking anyway. Some dirty talk. Instead, we're talking reminiscing about
Nick
John
Nick
Candy.
wanted to say something filthy.
And other fat people were great before they all passed away.
I mean, to be fair, a lot of people are great before they pass away. There's also some shitty people that are shitty before they pass away.
I just want to point out today is September 11th, the day before my wedding anniversary.
Jesus,
true. Before that one crashed and burned.
Wow.
No, that didn't crash and burn. Actually, it's still going.
Still going. That's right. My building never crashed and burned. It's still standing.
Yeah, but you don't call it the Freedom Tower anymore.
Oh,
saw-
you don't know what happens at night.
I saw a video
Oh,
on,
yeah.
online today that I hadn't seen before of some guy, I guess, like that they're on a high balcony area looking over at the first tower. It's already burning and stuff. And the guy's like freaking out because he was supposed to be at work that day, but he called
We
in
had
sick.
one viewer.
Oh
and then he
yeah,
started
yeah,
talking
yeah, yeah. I've seen that video. Well, I'd be probably freaking freaked out too. Like you get those people that are, we're supposed to be on a plane that crashed and when 9/11.
Yeah.
I think
Oh, yeah.
What is Seth? The guy who does Family Guy. Seth MacFarlane. Yeah, he was supposed to be on one of the 9/11 planes, and he slept through his alarm, and but just in general, like
That's
just
the story.
imagine like a
one
plane
guy had
crash.
to go get donuts or something like that, so he missed.
That was the
Yeah.
in the comments
Or his
under,
kid
under the
was
video.
sick from school, so he
Yeah,
had to.
one person that worked in the food court or something like that. Again, like they called in sick, and then but then they got like, you call in sick, somebody else who wasn't supposed to work that day is coming in to cover your shift. Like
Bullshit. They just make the rest of them work harder.
You inadvertently killed that person by calling in sick. You know what I mean? Like some people like that, the survivor's guilt can like literally tear them apart.
Well,
Like,
I'd say what Nick said is probably true. Normally nowadays they just make the other people work harder, but this was also over 20 years ago, so
it's true.
It may have still been in the time
well, again,
when
like
they would
office,
actually call another person.
in an office building, like depending on the situation, they might be fine with the one day, but like in a lot of fast food restaurants and stuff, they'll try to cover that shift, at least try to.
But not a morning shift. It's like I worked at McDonald's for years. If someone called in sick on the morning shift, you just fucking covered it. And then if they called in sick on the afternoon shift, now we have time to call it in. So I'm thinking they would just work extra hard. And
Again, you never know though. Like in some of the situations though, like if someone had say taken booked time off ahead of time, then it's still, you know what I mean? In someone's head, they might be like, shit, if I was working, then that person wouldn't have been, and that can really mess with somebody.
Oh yeah, I mean for sure there's definitely some survivor's guilt, but it is what it is. I mean, like, it's not like you could fucking predict it.
This is true. Well, depending on who you were, maybe you could have. Right.
We've been talking banter for a while now. Let's get back to the topic of the show. So, not to be that kind of a dick, but I'm going to be that kind of a dick.
Veering away from the talk of the tragedy of September, Nick, you fucking
that's true. I've just realized what I just
let's topple the rest of the show and clean up.
Let's hurry up and give remembrance to what we were supposed to be doing on this show.
Let's jet away to the next topic.
Yes. All right, let's add fuel to the fire and go to Greg. Hi, Greg. How's your beer drinking?
Let's Sama bin review this beer. Why don't we? Yeah, I know.
That's reaching.
Okay, then pick this different way to phrase that, Greg.
I was reaching for that one. I gotta say, I am. Although this does very much, come off as, first of all, 284 milliliters. What is that bullshit? Like, just
that's a weird
extra small bottles. Like, number one, fuck you on that. It does definitely come off as sort of a more commercially stout. Like, what is it? Like, there's the Simba stout, or there's the Lion stout I wanted to try today. Like all these various animal stouts that are are made by bigger companies. It's a bit thin. It's a bit on the sweet side. You don't get, like, when you kind of think of a craft stout, especially an imperial stout. I mean, this is 7.5. It's not super high in alcohol, but it's it's on the higher end. Or getting there anyway. It almost strikes you as more of like a really dark red ale, like if you just almost like an imperial red or something, than an actual stout. Like I don't get the the roasty toastiness. You don't get any of the coffee. Definitely no wood in here. But it's pretty easy drinking. Like, I mean, this is definitely a beer. I mean, maybe this is why they put it in small bottles, because I mean, you could definitely knock a few of these back before you realize that the 7.5 is probably kicking your ass. So it is actually pretty good. So,
was it expensive?
Well, I bought a single, and the single came out to 220 for this bottle. Normally it
Not
comes in a
bad.
six. Normally
Yeah.
it comes in a 6-pack, but I didn't actually want to buy the whole 6-pack. Although to be honest, I kind of wish I had because this is actually pretty good. So I mean, I just grabbed. There's one that was already like half of them were gone anyway, so I figured, okay, I'll just grab it and see if they'll just let me buy one. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. The guy scanned it, no issue. So 220 for the bottle. So not super expensive by today's standards at all. So I mean, I'd say if you just want a light stout, again, it's not. I feel craft beer has really changed what we think of as stouts. You know, we really think of that, even if it doesn't have coffee in it. We usually think about that burnt coffee flavor. You know, maybe the roasted chocolate or something. This is more like maybe like a sweet chocolate taste to it. Almost like it's definitely like I got a lot of red ale. I just burped up some red ale there, so that really gets me thinking. So if you like ambers, you like reds, you'd probably like this. You just want them to be like amped up a bit to, you know, be a little more alcoholic. As a stout, this is gonna be like I like it. I'm gonna give this a pretty good rating for personal enjoyment. But as a stout, I mean, it's kind of hard to say because if you gave me this blind, I don't think I could recognize this as a stout. But I do like it. So let's say it's stout. I'm gonna go a little lower. I'm just gonna say it's a 7 as a stout because I really feel it is lacking in flavor. So I'm gonna be generous with a 7. Sorry, generous in the stouty flavors. Let me be clear on that. But in terms of overall enjoyment, I like it. I am going to give it an 8.75.
Wow.
That is what I'm going with. It's not quite a 9 for me, but it's good. I quite enjoy this, and I've actually heard people shit on this before. I think Chad the Albino Rhino, I think in an old review, I think he may have shit on this. If I haven't, well, he can sue me for libel. I like it. Perfectly fine. You could definitely. It's kind of weird because you would session it and you would drink 6 of them if you were just chilling by the pool or something, and then you would not be functional for the rest of the day.
At 7.5, yeah.
He would sue you for slander. Libels when it's in writing. You should know this, Greg. Come on now.
Oh,
It's
Okay.
light in Spider-Man 1. Come on. Theodore Jameson said that. Come on.
I haven't seen that movie since I think it first came out. So
It's a random thing that stuck with me. I remember. Like, what do you say? Someone said something about like something and he corrected. No, slander spoken.
I think I saw that movie in the theater. I thought it was great. I bought the DVD. I think I watched it once, and I don't think I've ever seen it since then. So yeah,
the first one was pretty good, and the second one was great with Doc Ock and like that. You can't. The third one had issues.
Oh, Spider-Man.
Anyway,
all right. So let's see if Scott's beer can be the twin to tower next to Greg's. So
wow, okay.
Scott, tell us about your Tire Shack beer.
That was a tire fire.
I did not okay to see that coming.
Anyway, yeah. So this is a nice, refreshing, toasty marshmallow stout. You can definitely taste the marshmallow in it. You can taste the smokiness in it. Something that you would bring to a campfire and have s'mores with, and it'd fall right in line. It has a little bit of chocolatey tuneness or a chocolatey flavor to it, especially in the middle. The marshmallow comes out up front, little tart at the end. It's running at 5.5, so it's not too bad, you know. A Bush Ice or a Alpine comes in at 6, so something that you can pick up and session pretty good. But it's a little bit more pricey than anything like if you get a 6-pack or whatever. I believe it was a 525 job, and it's sitting at 473 milliliters. Good, has nice dark look to it. Had a head when I poured it. Yeah, refreshing. Not a lot of fizz, but stouts aren't known for it. As a stout, going to give it a 8.5. And for personal enjoyment, I'm going to give it a 9.
Wow.
It is quite tasty. I would definitely buy another one of these.
So that was 8.5 for style and
And a 9 for personal enjoyment.
nice.
It loses a little on style because it could be a little bit thicker. Like Greg's, mine's a little thin, but it's not too thin. It's not super thin. It's just, if you want to, like an oatmeal stout, you almost eat it, right? And this you don't.
Scott and I are like twin towers. We got length but not girth. Oh wait, we're talking about beer. Okay, sorry.
Yes, we're talking about beer, and you need to remeasure.
All right, so let's see if Terry carries is the tower to match, or if he's I don't know, trade center number 7.
Such a reach for this joke.
I was thinking more along like Greg and Scott of the Twin Towers and Redbeard's in between, like horizontal.
He's like one of those shitty towers
Yeah,
that people forgot.
He's
That
like
people
the
forgot
Eiffel
fell
Tower.
over.
Yeah,
Could have been the Pentagon. I don't know.
Number 3 is
True.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah,
That's more like a butthole though.
If
Well, even worse if you're giving the beer a 9.3.
if by some weird coincidence you happen to have some of this beer and you're in a big building and a plane crashed into the big building and it's on fire and you have no way to escape and you've got to you did jump, you're gonna jump desperately trying to escape the flames. You save this beer until you jump, then you crack it open and you drink it on the way down and you can forget your troubles for about 30 seconds. It's pretty good.
It's true.
I mean, really, how long is it going to take for you to, let's say, shotgun a beer, hold on to the beer, not have it escape from the beer can, and
don't forget you're tumbling through the air too, so you're probably going to be upside down.
What Scott just said, shotgunning probably the best option because you're going to be right on the can, open the top of it, grab. You probably the best way to drink it and ensure you actually get most of it into you. But regardless, this is fucking delicious. The coffee flavor is not there like it would be if it's fresh. I'm assuming. I remember like my review said something about like it's like sucking on a coffee bean. This still has a lot of the bitterness that I like. So the coffee's still kind of there. There is not even the slightest hint that it's 9.5%. Nice dark chocolate kind of flavors coming through. It's delightful. It's perfectly carbonated. Like as far as Imperial Coffee Stout, it's probably one of the best ones I've ever had. Again, from when it was fresh. I'm still going to give it a 9.5 for the style and personal enjoyment. 9.5 again. If this was fresh, it would be 10s across the board, guaranteed.
So did you say it's less coffee flavored?
The coffee flavor has faded.
It's muted.
A lot of the bitterness is still there. If you've ever chewed on a roasted coffee bean, that it's fucking bitter, but it's tasty. I'm not a coffee fan. I don't like drinking coffee, but give me a coffee bean, it's tasty, or coffee flavored ice cream, or coffee in a beer. Yes, please. And yeah, this is great.
I'm not a big fan. I'm not even a big fan of coffee crisp. That's how much I don't like coffee.
I do enjoy coffee crisp, but yeah, again, the actual coffee, never been a fan.
Yeah, me neither. No, that's interesting. Makes me think about trying your beer, especially at a 9.5, which is very surprising, right? So, probably the strongest beer here out of the four of us.
I feel like you would probably enjoy this the way it is now more than you would.
More than it would. Yeah, with fresh. Yeah. I agree.
It's good shit. Well, actually, I'm curious again. Like,
had it before. I'm pretty sure somebody's probably shared a can with you before.
What does this cost per can? Search Mortel. Booyah. $3.90.
Jeez.
That's
pretty good for is it a Tolly?
Oh yeah, it's a
It's a
tall.
tall
Yeah,
one.
I'm probably gonna go back tomorrow and buy more.
Yeah.
Because that my go-to beer is Haze Mama, 365 a can, 7%. So extra 2.5% for yeah, that's a very good deal for what that beer is.
We don't get those prices here, do we, Maxwell?
Not really.
Well, like I
No.
mentioned,
We get
like
fucked for prices.
I was talking to Greg, we've talked before with the thing from online, the beer that's in the Circle K currently that just happened because Doug Ford's an idiot and they couldn't wait 1 year and not spend $1 billion to cancel the LCBO contract. But yeah, I went there yesterday because I was driving and saw the sign saying beer and wine available here now. I'm like, okay, let's check it out. And yeah, 21 cents a can cheaper for Octopus Wants to Fight than at the LCBO. So figure that one out.
Wow. I think we discussed that, and it's probably
Yeah,
taxes.
but yeah, like, I'm assuming it's taxed.
Because beer tends to be a little slightly cheaper on grocery store shelves here. But when you get to the cash register, the taxes come. It's just because they charge tax and everything in the store.
I'm pretty sure that when I go to
Like
the
store would be the same.
my grocery store is like my backup grocery store that I go to that's open an hour later than the one LCBO kind of that's almost like right across the parking lot. I miss the LCBO, go to the grocery store. They also have Haze Mama. I'm pretty sure they've got their Haze Mama and all their other beers listed at the 365 price point. Which
I think it's up
else in
to
the
the
grocery
individual store.
Yeah, I am going to go back to the convenience store and buy like 2 cans, and if it doesn't come out to that,
Or I mean, if you just want to make it even easier, just literally ask the guy for the receipt, and it'll show you right there.
Yeah, like 344 times 2 is 688. If I pay more than 688, then there's tax. Like 365 would be what, fucking 710 or 730?
Sure, yeah. I would just grab the receipt and not even worry about it.
No,
but
it's the simplest of math. Come on, man.
Nah, I don't want to do simple math. I'll tell you what I will do though. Let's do a nitro pour.
Ooh, Greg's making a cuvee.
No, there's no cuvee. It's just
Different
a cobblestone. I'm sure
Okay.
if I'm sure if Klizak decides to watch this, he'll tell me I'm not pouring aggressive enough somehow.
Well, no, you're not. Although it did work.
You should have put some chalet sauce at the bottom, and it would have like fucking infused with the entire process.
The delicious taste of chicken.
Even in a proper milk.
See, there's a beer I wish I could still get too, the Cobblestone Stout. But you know what? It's my turn now to talk about my beer. What did I think about Le Filibuste from Quebec? Okay. So, part of me thinks I do wish I had that one instead from the Frasier instead of this one. Melbourne's the Avion, or sorry, I can't remember the name of this. It was like their ice block was fucking phenomenal. This is kind of a little bit more basic. Even though it's an oatmeal stout, I had high hopes for it, but it didn't really come out as swinging strong. I mean, in an oatmeal stout, I kind of expect to be a little bit thicker in the body. This one came with thin body, had a light touch, metallic, tannic, roasty taste to it. I didn't get a whole lot of like lingering roast out of it. Maybe some like tiny notes of tannic, chocolate, and roast, and maybe some berry. But for the most part, it's just I get that like that graininess of like oatmeal, and it's very dry in the back, and it comes off coming. It's just not an impressive oatmeal stout at all. I'm not getting enough from this. It feels like the flavor that I want is there, but it's really thin and watered down, and then it's gone. It's really quite dry. I wish it was like a little sweeter, a little heavier. It brought maybe a bit more flavor to the table. I'm not sure if this is the first time they made it, or if this is if this is one of their regular releases. And how old of a can is this? According to this is from April, so I guess it is 5 months old. But at the same time, it's just super thin. Gonna give it a 6.5 for style and a 6 for overall enjoyment. I know I'm definitely not winning this episode. Speaking of winning tonight's episode, let's circle back around and vote for people. Greg. Hi, Greg. You're first to go. So, of all the beers you heard here tonight, other than mine, which one would you rather have?
I'm going to go for Nick's just because I want to subvert expectations.
Okay.
I want your shitty Quebec beer. Thank you very much.
All right. Let's go over to the Scott. Scott, of all the beers you heard here tonight, which one would you rather have had?
I'm going to go with Greg went with Nick. I'm going to go with Ray.
Dun,
Scott's
dun,
going with
dun. You want to try the Dragon Stout?
Okay, let's go over to the Beard. And what of all the beers you heard tonight, which
I've had the Dragon Stout. I haven't had either one. And you just kind of, tanked your own fucking shit. And
I'm not going to upsell this shit.
What was it? There's a fucking brewery a couple of years ago that released like a stout winter mix pack. You guys remember that? A few of us had it. And
yeah. Fuck, it was like a brewery from Alberta, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, and fucking cat, just go get it.
Oh fuck, what was that brewery called?
But if I look up stout mix pack, maybe I assume there weren't a lot of. Wasn't it milkshake stouts or something?
Yeah, it had all kinds of different milkshake stouts,
but I remember that
they were here for a bit and they disappeared. I think it was an American thing, wasn't it?
Toasted marshmallow one, I believe. How did he gets it so fast? He's a fucking magician. Yeah, I remember not being a huge fan of any of them, but the toasted marshmallow one was one of the better ones. And yeah, I would try Scott's.
Okay. So Scott gets from the Beard. Okay, so I guess the toss up. There's 2 votes for Greg, 1 vote for Fuzz.
Was there? No, I think it was. No, I think it was
one for Nick. One for Nick, 1 for Fuzz, 1 for Greg. Yeah. So now you have to vote for Redbeard.
Okay, well, spoilers because I was voting for Greg.
Nah.
Greg wins with Dragon Stout. Yeah.
Okay, so basically the story goes, I can go down to the liquor store and buy a Tire Shack Toasted Marshmallow Stout. I do like that beer, which is kind of why I said Scott drink that. Especially Mortel, I wish I could get that here. I would drink that any day of the week.
It's probably the best beer here, but
yeah, it's definitely the best beer here. It's just when I saw Dragon Stout, I got a thing for like finding weird international beers like that, and that piques my interest so hard.
Nick has a thing for finding weird.
I got a dragon heart on right now.
I wasn't a fan. It had a very that commercialized fucking big. It just industrial.
It does, but it's still kind of like I don't mind a good amber ale, and this is kind of like, to me, tasted more like an imperial amber ale than did a proper stout, which is why it's if you're in the mood for a stout, it's probably not what you're looking for, but on its own, I thought it was pretty tasty.
Yeah, but again, like right there, it's even though it's still okay, a stout should not taste like an amber ale. That's just fucking weird.
Rochester Mills, that's the name of that brewery that made that milkshake stout.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, Rochester Mills.
Yeah, but it was a while. Well, aren't they were out of like Michigan or something, aren't they?
I think so. I'd have to look it up. I mean, I'm just
Google search Rochester Mills
ever.
Yeah, and as much as I chose Greg's, I didn't want to choose Nick's because he gave it the poo-poo. And Redbeard's, it does have that coffee flavor, and I don't really like coffee. Although it's at being a 9.5 piques my interest, but where Greg's is a little bit, I don't know, easier going and cheaper as well. You could buy 2 of those and still be in
Well,
good.
next
cost.
time Nick comes to Ontario, I'm gonna buy a 6-pack for him to
Next.
enjoy,
Well, the
Next.
whole thing for me comes down to
Sorry.
and then he won't remember.
the whole thing for me comes down to which one would I rather have, and it's just I've had the other two. They're both great. Dragon Stout I've never had, and I would love to because I've heard of it for years. I don't assume it's going to be the best.
Rochester Mills is in Rochester, Michigan.
Oh, there you go.
I tend to like beers that, like, you know, when people don't like them very much, like I always tend to, like, especially when Redbeard really hates something, I'm always like, I want to try that because I want to see if his hate is justified or not.
No, that's fair enough.
There you go. And that's probably why Greg wanted to try mine, is because he wants to see if the hate is justified.
Yeah, I'm like you're hating on this thing. I'm like, I want to try it and see if I feel the same way or if I think you're crazy.
Hate it. I didn't fail it.
He's
it's
crazy.
It's not that great. It's weak. It's thin. It's just boring. And I just saw a penis, which is probably an accurate description of my penis. It's weak.
Wow.
Your penis is weak and boring and little thin.
I always thought it was more.
Well,
like
we
a
all know it's
sledgehammer.
not a little thin, but
It's like a sledgehammer. It's not always the tool you need for the job, but it's more fun to use.
yeah, and you can only swing it so many times before you're clapped out.
Well, yeah, you need a lot of blood to power the thing.
Well, there's that. And
Goddamn
it's very effective at laying the smackdown, so it's just like you don't need as many strokes.
All right,
Yeah,
let's
I
wrap
mean,
this up.
I
Let's
want to see a battle between Nick Stick and that chick with the huge, like the movie, the Sacha Baron Cohen movie, The Dictator. When he has a fight, the chick that has like the boobs that, like, I think she has like another, like she breaks like watermelons and stuff, and like she's like, yeah, and then she fights it with her boobs. I want to see a battle between Nick's dicks.
Right.
Oh,
Okay. So
I just want
let's
to see Nick rearrange your girl's guts.
Yeah, I'd like to see that too. Not for a while. Anyway, so all right. So I want to thank everybody for watching. There's literally zero comments for the entire show.
Zero comments. And the next thing is what's next?
This is public, isn't it?
No,
people are just pissed off that it's not the Hardy Party.
Yeah,
it's true. I'm just looking at the video. I'm like, this is public. Like, why don't I have any fucking viewers? I saw 2 viewers at one point. It was probably some of us.
Kevin, we don't even have Redbeard's creepy followers from his video game show.
Jesus Christ!
Hey! I did stream earlier before this, and when I was finishing up.
Jamie that's watching this replay this far in. The Jamie's watching the replay this far in. First of all, he has to look at Redbeard's penis.
And Jamie, you're invited to look at Redbeard's penis.
We'll be back next week with hopefully the Lee Hardy birthday episode, which should be fun.
I mean, I think it'll probably be that whether she's here or not. I think we'll still celebrate in her honor.
Yeah.
At this point, we can't have her birthday in December. That would be crazy.
All right. Let's take this thing offline. We'll chat with you folks later. Cheers.
Bottle balls.
Bye.
Don't say. There's no one to say cheers to.
It's true, except for Chris Peterskill, those women.
Whoa,